Hello everybody, this is the first video lecture for fall semester 2020, American Government and Politics at Simmons College. My name is Michael Gray. I am adjunct professor at Simmons College. I've been teaching for about 5 years now. In the daytime, the day job, I'm a lobbyist, and I work for a nationwide nonprofit on government relations and advocacy. So I know a bit about how the American government functions, from the federal government down to the states and localities. And that's what we're going to be talking about the first couple weeks of class. I do want to thank you all for your diligence, your dedication, and your patience during these unusual times. Unfortunately, COVID lockdown is starting to feel a little more usual than unusual because we've been doing it since March. But the upside of that is that me and many of you other professors have started to get some experience at teaching remotely. And so thank you all for watching this video and taking part in the class. I posted an announcement on Canvas on Monday of this week explaining a little bit about how the class would operate, and also posted your syllabus. The syllabus is a document containing the learning outcomes that we're required to give you from Simmons College, but also posted a supplement to the syllabus. And that document, is the one that outlines the schedule for the semester, the content we're going to talk about, and if you're using, I believe it's the third edition, or the newest edition of the textbook, it also has the pages for the reading material. Now, please obtain a copy of the textbook. Don't have to buy the newest one. I know that in past years, including this past spring, that the college had copies of this textbook, and they had enough for everyone, for you to check them out and borrow them for the duration of the semester, so you don't have to pay anything for a textbook. I don't know if they still have them, but I encourage you to contact Keisha Barger in the Simmons administrative offices and see if she still has copies of that book, because if so, it could save you some money. But either way, do not feel the need to buy the newest edition. If you get an older edition and the page numbers in that syllabus supplement don't match up with what you're seeing on the pages of the actual book, contact me, and I can help you figure out what you should be reading when. Or you can apply some common sense, look at the index of the textbook, and find the parts of the text that cover the subject matter of each lecture. Now, as I said in the Canvas announcement I posted Monday, I'm going to post these lectures twice a week. You do not have to watch them at exactly 1 o'clock. In fact, like many of you, I have some complicated family and home situation due to COVID, with childcare and everything else. So what I promise to you is that I'll get these lecture videos by midnight every Monday and Wednesday. So technically it's 12 a.m. of the next day, but you know what I'm saying, like midnight Monday, midnight Wednesday. No later than that, I'll have them up here. Watch them at your convenience. All that I ask of you is to watch them before the next lecture comes on, so you don't get behind. So you don't have to be online on Zoom or anything else for this class. 1 o'clock on Mondays, Wednesdays. Don't worry about that. Just watch the videos when you can. I'll post them in Canvas. Well, I'll post an announcement in Canvas letting you know the link to the YouTube videos. So if you're watching this one, you must have seen that announcement, and I'm going to get on with the material. This won't be a very long video because I'm just going to do a brief little introduction for the first segment of the class, which has to do with the branches and levels of government. One thing that's very different about these times that we're in now as opposed to how things were, say, a year or so ago, is that I rely very, very much on participation from you, the students, to make the classes a little more interesting and to make sure we cover materials that are important to you. Obviously, this is not an interactive format, and not directly interactive format, so what you can do is either contact me through email. My cell number's on the syllabus. You can text me, email me, or communicate through a message in Canvas, and Let me know if you have comments, questions, criticisms of these lecture videos. And those are things that I can address in the next video. So it's the next best thing to having classroom real old-fashioned participation is I want to hear your thoughts, and I'll address those in the next video. So, with that being said, this is a class that most people at most colleges have to take, or some equivalent of this American government and politics class. And several semesters ago, or several years ago now, I was teaching this class on the first day of class, and I was in the classroom at Simmons College, and I asked the class, why do you all think that Simmons College, and any college, most colleges, require you to take this class about government and politics? And one student had the perfect answer, and she said, to stay woke, which is about the best way I could phrase it. The things that go on in the government and the political systems in this country, they impact you whether you know or not. Whether you care about it or not, they're impacting you. We're going to talk about that in this class. We're going to talk about ways that these politicians, whether there's some of the more well-known politicians and also some that you've never heard of, make decisions every day that impact you and me. And if you're not aware of that, that's your fault, because this is not complicated subject matter in this class, and it's not difficult to access information about our government and our political system. And it's so important that you follow along and you take something away from this class, because especially in these times, right now, when people are record numbers of unemployment, people can't pay rent, and landlords aren't clear whether they can evict people or not, and tenants don't know if they're going to have a home tomorrow. When people like me and my wife don't know when our child care situation will return to normal. When people like you all in college don't know what the economy is going to be like when you get out. That uncertainty, fear and financial equivocation going on in this country. Our politicians are the ones who have so much control over that. I'm not saying they made the situation. I'm saying they have the ability to keep bad situations from getting worse. And we're also, of course, in an election year, a very important election year. And we'll talk about these things. But for the first segment, kind of between now and the middle of next month, so almost the first month of class, we're going to talk about the branches and levels of government. What do I mean by branches and levels? Well, branches of the federal government, that's the national government headquartered in Washington, D.C., there are three: the legislative branch, the executive branch, and the judicial branch. Those are branches of the federal government. Now, I'm using the word federal a lot right now. There are different levels of government. Speaking very broadly, and to keep this, I'll keep it simple for now, those levels would be federal, state, and local. Federal, state, and local. Federal government headquartered in Washington, D.C., governs all 50 states, the District of Columbia itself, and I believe 5 territories. That's federal government. State government, again, there are 50 states and there's a handful of territories, and those states have governmental systems of their own. Here in Kentucky, our state capital is over in Frankfort, about 45 minutes down I-64 from Louisville. Every state has a capital, and every state capital conducts state government business, which is a little different than federal government business. We'll talk about that in the lectures to come. Then there's local government, cities and counties, and they have their own responsibilities, and they take care of certain things that the federal and state government doesn't. What sets, particularly when it was founded, what set this country, the United States, what set this country's governmental systems apart were two things. One, that federal system, which is federal systems another way. We talk about the federal government, meaning the nationwide government in this country, but it's also a type of governmental system where you have the central government in Washington, D.C., and you have the state. That's what a federal system really means. And that was fairly unique at the time of this country's founding. And the idea was to prevent the national capital in Washington from becoming a all-powerful government like they had in Europe. And then the level of responsibility of state governments is pretty severe. I mean, most countries in the world don't have, they have little sections. They may call them states or provinces or something like that, but they don't have the type of concentrated power that American state governments have. I mean, if you've never thought about the power of a state government, let me ask you this: if police officers busted into my garage right now, I'm recording this, and they found some illegal substance in here, especially let's say it was, to keep it simple, let's say they found drugs. For the record, I don't have any drugs in my garage. Let's say I did. Police come in, they find drugs. I get charged with a state crime, and I get tried in a state court for that crime. The federal government has nothing to do with it, with that arrest and prosecution. That's a little different. Most countries don't have a setup like that. Most countries don't have a setup like that. So that's just one example. We'll talk a lot about drug crimes in this course. It's not what the course is about, but we'll talk about the ridiculous nature of some of those crimes, about how the state and federal government split responsibilities of them, and we'll certainly talk about the inherently racist nature of drug laws in this country. So that's a little preview, but what I want you to think about from now to the next week, as you try to obtain the textbook and do some reading, is the fact that our federal government has three branches: legislative, executive, judicial, and that there are three levels of government overall: federal, state, and local. I encourage you that if you don't have a textbook, just Google it. I mean, this is not the kind of Google is not going to get you the type of information that you could cite on like a term paper. We don't do term papers in this class. I'm never going to ask you to memorize names or dates or anything like that, but I will ask you to answer some quizzes, and those are described in your syllabus supplement. But take a look at, just get on either your textbook or get online and search, what is the legislative branch, and see what you come up with. This is going to sound elementary, and I don't mean to be insulting to anyone's intelligence, because we were all supposed to have this in grade school. But if you're like me, you didn't get a very substantial course in this subject matter. So, do a little time on your own. Take a little time on your own to figure out what those three branches of government are, and then I'm going to explain them in detail beginning next Monday. So, in the meantime, I'm about to wrap this up, but I'm glad you stayed on until the end, because there's something very important I need to tell you. It's also in your syllabus supplement, but comment below the video. Post a comment letting me know that you saw the video. That is how I determine attendance in the age of coronavirus. Post below. Say, I watched the video. If you really want to make me happy, ask a question or give some detailed comment or observation or criticism of the video. Not the quality, I can't help that, but the content, the words I'm saying. Critique that or comment on it in a way that will allow me to expand the discussion in the next video. But you have to at least say, I watched it, I'm here, whatever. That's how you get your attendance grade for this class. So, thank you for watching. I'll say it one more time. Don't forget to comment below that you watched the video. And thank you all for your time. I'll be on here. I'll post something. This is Wednesday, so next Monday. Next Monday, and you watch these at your own convenience. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns about anything related to the class, either reach out through Canvas or get my email and phone number from the syllabus and contact me that way. So, thank you all so much, and I look forward to talking to y'all again soon.